What's up, heroes? My name is Sylarclone, and welcome back to Crystalline. Today we're going to just take a look and see what's going on with Zack at Wolfsden. We spent quite a bit of time with Terra last time, on a bit of money, so let's see what everyone else is up to today. I approach Zack at the boards. Hey! He glances at me, then nods in acknowledgement. See anything good?
Yes, actually.
I look at the boards and let out a breath of surprise. Whereas most of the boards at the inn only have a few flyers pinned on them at a time, this board is covered in wanted posters. Whoa! That's a lot of bounties! Zack grins.
Check out the payout on these things.
He points to a poster of a scarred man with a grizzled face and deep frown. Underneath his mugshot lists a number with more zeros than whatever has existed in my bank account. Damn! Zack nods. I can't help myself as I continue to scan the board, taking note of the offered bounties. Zack grins as he throws my words back at me.
See anything good?
I'll stick to my day job, point to a hot wanted woman's bounty. All the money. Well, we're on a hot streak with money. Let's go with all the money. I point to one of the highest offered rewards. That looks pretty tempting to me.
Yep.
All the mercenaries should just come to Wolfsden and check out the bounty board here.
A lot of them do.
Really?
Why do you think this inn is so full?
I look around the inn again. That would explain why so many patrons are just people drinking alone. One such man pushes himself unsteadily to his feet and sways over to the board. He leans until his nose is nearly touching one of the posters, then nods in satisfaction. As he's about to stumble away, he pauses when he sees Zack. He stares at him for an uncomfortably long time.
Hey, don't I know you?
Probably not, dude. Zack barely bats an eye.
No.
The drunk is undeterred and comes closer. He peers again at Zack, trying to get his eyes to focus, but he's too drunk. Zack steps back as the man nears. Suddenly, the man straightens up excitedly.
No way. You're the Death Slinger.
Death Slinger? At the mention of the name, the inn falls silent. Then tendrils of whispers begin to snake around us.
You're mistaken.
As Zack's expression changes. Zack's expression is stonier than usual, but the drunk is unfazed.
I never thought I'd see you here. But it makes sense. Everybody makes it to Wolfsden sooner or later.
Drunk, you better back off.
You have the wrong guy.
The drunk squints and shakes his head.
It must be you. A trench coat, scar over one eye.
The whispers increase into hurried murmurs as all eyes fall on us. We're getting used to that being here in Wolfsden. The drunk thinks for a second.
But do you have purple dischargers too?
He reaches towards Zack's holstered dischargers, but Zack smoothly steps away. You don't touch those, man.
If I were the Death Slinger, would you really want to piss me off?
No. Zack's icy warning causes the inn to fall silent again. The drunk sways precariously as the muddled gears in his head turn. Then, understanding finally dawns.
Oh, right. I'll leave you alone. Sorry.
Get out of here, dude. As the man stumbles back to his table, Zack sits down at an empty table in the corner. I silently follow, feeling the weight of everyone's gaze. When I sit down, Zack glares at the people around us, which causes them to quickly turn back to their tables and resume whatever they were doing. Many of them seem suddenly very interested in their drinks. Me too. Zack doesn't seem inclined to talk, but the silence is stifling. That's weird, right? So, are you the Death Slinger? That seems like a bad option to do right now. I'm curious, but weird. That was pretty weird.
Don't pay attention to him. It's just a random drunk.
There's a lot of those here. The innkeeper walks over and places 2 drinks on the table. Zack looks at him and quickly speaks.
On the house, we don't want any trouble here.
Okay. Apparently we're causing trouble now. Zack nods and takes a sip from one of the drinks.
Thanks.
A look of relief washes over the innkeeper's face as he walks away. Gradually, life returns to the inn as people lose interest in us. So, who exactly is the Death Slinger?
He's a mercenary.
Most mercenaries don't silence an entire inn at the mention of their name.
You're right.
He takes another drink. I wait for him to continue, but he doesn't. Okay, I don't think I'll be getting any more out of him now. Since things have begun to feel more normal, I relax a bit and take a sip of my drink. Zack and I quietly finish the rest of our drinks. Although his stony frown is lessened, I think it'd be best to give him some space. I say my goodbyes and leave the table. I bet Leanna's in her room or find Amelia. Well, I'm going to assume Amelia's with Leanna, but I probably just have to click on it and find out. I wonder where Amy might have gone. Peeking outside, I frown at the gathering clouds. Would she have wandered outside alone in that storm? I don't think so. This town doesn't seem to have the kind of places Amy would like to frequent. She must be in her room then. But if she is, I think it'd be rude to disturb her. Maybe she'll be around later. For now, I should do something else. Like, bet Leanna's in her room. Leanna seemed pretty nervous last night. I wonder if she's still in her room. Making my way back upstairs, I knock on her door. After a moment, her voice calls out.
Who is it?
It's me!
Oh, hey.
That's not normally the reaction we get. There's a silence as I wait for her to open the door, but she doesn't. Is everything okay?
Yep. Everything's fine.
Why don't I believe her? Okay. She sounds really distracted.
Sorry, I'm a little busy right now. Amy and I are kind of in the middle of something. Do you think you can come back later?
I think I can manage that for you, and I found where Amy is. Ah, so that's where Amelia is too. Sure. Sorry to disturb you. She doesn't answer. That was kind of weird. I hope she isn't annoyed with me. I better leave her alone for now and check in later if I have time. I decide to spend the rest of my time alone. I relax at one of the tables by myself, observing the people and enjoying my free time. It's not too often that I can have some alone time, and with the storm outside, I'm entitled to feel a little lazy. The rest of the afternoon passes by uneventfully. With the dark clouds outside, it's hard to judge the time of day, but the skies seem to be darkening. I wonder if Leanna's done with whatever she was doing earlier. I haven't seen her leave her room all day. I decide to see if she's free. As I approach her room, I knock on the door. Leanna! There's a pause, then a scuffling sound.
Yes?
You okay in there?
Yep. Fine.
Have you had a chance to look around yet? Maybe we could go check out the shops.
Well...
Out with it.
It's getting kind of late, isn't it? Might be better to stay inside.
Nah. Sure. Do you want to come downstairs and we can get something to eat? There's a pause again.
You know, I'm not very hungry. I think I'll stay here for now.
Curses! Shot down again. I narrow my eyes. Is it just me, or is Leanna acting a little weird? She's acting a little weird. Are you sure everything's okay in there? Leanna opens the door a crack and pokes her head out. Her smile is a little too bright.
Yep, just peachy. Sorry. I'm just feeling a little tired. Nothing to worry about.
Well, I'm already concerned. I haven't seen you all day. That's new. She's about to close the door, but I push to keep it open as my scarf is caught in the doorway. Wait! I push on the door to yank my scarf out. The door swings wide open, revealing Leanna's new outfit. Damn! She throws her arms around herself to cover up.
Don't look!
Too late. That's embedded in my memory. My jaw drops as I take in all of her outfit. What little there is of it. Close my eyes. Can you wear this forever? Interesting choice. I don't know here. I want her to wear this forever. But I guess I should probably close my eyes. I think I'm going to try to close my eyes just to give her that sense of not really just, I quickly turn away as my cheeks burn. Is that the change of clothes Kara brought you?
Yes.
I glance back at her. Her hands are still covering herself, and she refuses to make eye contact. Is this why you've been hiding in your room?
I can't go anywhere dressed like this. It's best if I just stay here until the storm is past.
It's really not that bad. Really isn't. I like it. Leanna just gives me a look. If you don't like it, we can go to the shops and get you something else.
Okay, let me change and then we can go.
What are you going to change into? The armor that everyone was staring at you with? I thought you couldn't wear your regular armor. Leanna blinks.
I can't go out dressed like this, though.
Sure you can. Your armor will draw more attention. At least this outfit helps you blend in. She looks uncomfortable. Honestly, it isn't that bad. Besides, you don't know how long the storm is going to last. What if you have to spend days cooped up in that room? That's the look of someone who knows they have no choice. Leanna frowns as she thinks about it, then sighs.
I suppose you're right. All right, we can go, but let's make it quick.
We'll certainly try to. Gathering her courage, Leanna leaves the room and the two of us head downstairs. Nobody pays any extra attention as we exit the inn. I mean, it's no surprise that she's not happy with it. She always has been very modestly dressed. Something revealing like that is probably a little out of her comfort zone. I squint up at the thick clouds. There's a light rain. We better hurry if we don't want to get caught in a downpour. We make our way down the alley. Leanna still gets attention, although not the same as before. She seems annoyed by the sharp whistling from leering men. I wonder if I should step in.
Hey there, baby.
Creepster.
What did you call me?
Leanna grabs the man by the collar and slams him against a wall.
What the hell?
Go on, call me baby again. I dare you.
Leanna's grip on the man's collar tightens as he's pinned securely against the wall. She must be using her wind magic to be able to keep a man twice her size immobilized with barely a struggle. Leanna continues to watch him with challenging eyes, daring him to catcall her again. The man stays silent as he tries to break free. Leanna finally lets go and tosses him to the side. He falls to the ground with a loud thud.
That's what I thought.
The man picks himself up and scrambles away.
You crazy bitch!
Hold me back!
Yeah, and don't you forget it.
At least she owns up to it. A crowd of shocked onlookers stare at Leanna.
What are you looking at?
They quickly look away and resume walking. Satisfied, Leanna looks at me with a smile.
Shall we continue?
I'm afraid. I'm really afraid. Damn, lady, you're scary. Let's go. I mean, damn, she's scary, but... yeah, you know what? Damn, you scary. Remind me to never get on your bad side. Leanna smirks. As that conversation would go, we continue down the street and reach the shops. Even though it's well into the evening, all of the storefronts are still open. I guess this is one of those cities that never sleeps. Leanna and I enter the first clothing shop we find. She browses the racks, but her face becomes more aghast with every outfit she picks up. She holds up a piece of fabric so short that I can't figure out if it's supposed to be a top or a skirt.
I don't think we'll find anything here. Let's go somewhere else.
I'll agree with that statement. I follow Leanna out of the store and into the next one. As she browses the selection, she seems even more disappointed as each outfit is skimpier than the next. After checking out a couple more shops with no luck, we enter the last shop on the street. Leanna checks out the racks again, then tracks down the shopkeeper.
Excuse me. Do you have any armor?
Absolutely.
He rummages through the clothing before pulling out what is essentially just a metal bra and thong. Leanna can't hide her horror as the shopkeeper smiles triumphantly.
Here you go.
How is that armor?
Video game logic, that's how.
What do you mean? It's metal. That means it can protect you.
But what about the rest of me?
It only protects the parts it covers. He is about to retort, but is left speechless as her words sink in.
Huh. You know, I'd never even thought about that before.
This guy's an idiot.
Do you have anything with a little more coverage?
Like something I would wear. Gotta use that specifics. Something I would wear. Like that suit of armor in the back. The shopkeeper returns to the racks and picks out another metal bra and underwear.
How about this?
That's more or less the same thing, moron.
How is that better?
Whoa!
Ugh, I am so done with this place.
Well, it's probably best that we go then. Realizing that this is a fruitless search, Leanna fumes out of the shop and I follow close behind. She looks down at her outfit and sighs.
It's hard to believe, but I think Kara picked out the most modest outfit available in this place.
You know, I never thought of that. Looks like it.
I guess she knows me a little better than I thought.
We have been traveling together for quite some time. No surprise there. As we pass a darkened storefront on our way back to the inn, two men melt from the shadows and approach us.
Excuse me, are those manipulators on your wrist?
Who wants to know? Leanna and I glance at each other and then back at the men.
Why do you ask?
The second man speaks.
We have an offer which may be interesting to you.
Exactly. As magic users, power in your craft is essential. Luckily for you, we happen to know a secret technique to amplify your casting usage to your fullest potential, no matter the skill level.
I'm suspicious, but continue. What's the technique? The first man hands me a card. The den at Wolfsden is written in curly letters.
Meet us at that location tomorrow morning, and all will be revealed.
Leanna narrows her eyes, and I do the same.
How do we know this is legitimate?
The second man smiles.
Your skepticism is understandable, but we've gone through this exact training and can personally guarantee results.
You're mages? Where are your manipulators?
I glance at their empty wrists. Leanna brings up a good point.
Right here.
He lifts his hand and points to the crystal inlaid ring on his finger. Leanna's mouth drops open in surprise, but she quickly composes herself.
Your manipulator is a ring?
The man flashes the same mysterious grin.
Be there tomorrow morning and all will be revealed.
They hand Leanna a card too, then disappear back into the alley. Leanna watches them retreat, a stern look on her face. You've got solicitors in this world too. It really isn't possible to escape them. She barely seems to register what I'm saying. Leanna? She blinks.
Huh?
That was pretty weird, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I begin to throw the card away when Leanna stops me.
Wait! We need that!
What for? We do?
How else will we find them tomorrow morning?
They gave you a card. Why do I need one? Wait, we're going to meet those guys? She nods. Is that a good idea? All that power! You believe that, snake oil? Ah, well, is that really a good idea? Are you sure that's a good idea? It seems like whatever they're selling is really shady.
It definitely is. And that's why we need to go. What if their secret technique is dangerous?
That's why you're the Mage-Knight, and I'm just the off-worlder. Do you think the technique is even effective? She shrugs.
Probably not. If it were so easy to become powerful, then everyone would do it. Besides, there's no way those rings are actual manipulators. It's impossible to condense the amount of energy needed for casting into such a tiny crystal. Something doesn't add up.
She makes a good point. It does seem a little too good to be true. She nods and pockets the card. The crack of thunder interrupts us. We should get back.
Yeah.
We hurry back to the inn. I spot Kara and Zack at a table and we join them. Zack smirks when he sees Leanna.
Nice outfit.
Leanna's cheeks flush.
I don't want to talk about it.
Kara grins widely.
Oh, don't be shy. You've got to own it.
Agreed. Leanna's blush deepens as she quickly changes the subject.
We were just out and ran into some strange men promising us unimaginable power.
She pulls out the card and places it on the table.
They said to meet them there tomorrow.
Zack and Kara study it.
I've never seen this before.
I have. They recruited me too.
Say what? Leanna blinks.
But you aren't a mage. They were looking for magic casters. Why did they recruit you?
Zack shrugs.
Something about being a valuable asset? I wasn't really listening.
Why am I not surprised? We're going to go meet them tomorrow morning. Leanna nods.
Same here.
What, really? Leanna looks equally surprised.
Sure.
Why? I thought you weren't listening.
I wasn't. But from what I did hear, it sounds like a scam for money. Money which should be liberated from them for the greater good.
I like what this man's thinking. Why am I not surprised?
All right, let's meet up there tomorrow morning and go together.
Zack nods. As if on cue, Amy joins the group.
Greetings. Have we all gathered here to partake in supper?
No, we've gathered here just to sit around and do absolutely nothing. Of course we're here to eat dinner.
That's a pretty good idea. I could go for some food.
Yeah, I could go for some din-din myself. I nod. Same here. We order some food and sit together to eat. As we eat, Amelia looks intently from Kara to Leanna. Leanna shifts uncomfortably.
Is there something wrong, Amy?
There seems to be an undeniable trend in the clothing both you and Kara are wearing. Perhaps I should be wearing something similar.
Whoa, 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 no! 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 There's a trend because Kara picked out both sets of clothes. You're not allowed to wear that. Kara becomes stern.
We need to have a talk about what is and isn't appropriate for you to wear, young lady.
Agreed.
The irony of that statement is not lost on me.
No, don't ruin her innocence. What a good idea. Meh. Don't ruin the innocence. I'm taking the stand now. You're too young for that. What you're wearing is much more appropriate.
Maybe when you're older.
Thank you, Zack.
Trust me, you won't find anything age-appropriate in those shops.
I believe you all are still significantly misestimating my age.
Then how old are you? Someone needs to tell me. I'm curious. This has now been brought up like 8 times. I might be exaggerating this number, but seriously, how old are you? Once the team has calmed down and talked Amy out of purchasing an outfit, we finish the rest of our meals. Leanna reminds Zack and me to meet downstairs in the morning. Then we all retire to bed. After getting changed, I fall into my bed and drift to sleep. What, I don't sleep in my armor? I have my own PJs? Cool. When did I buy PJs? In the afternoon, I wake up to an unaccustomed brightness. Blinking my eyes open, I glance outside, notice an absence of clouds. Looks like the storm is finally past. Zack's bed is empty, and even the Pongo is missing. I guess I'm the last one up considering it's already midday, as I usually am. I hurry out of my bed and rush to get ready, then head downstairs. The team is already there, gathered around a table. They meet me as I arrive. Looks like the storm has passed.
Correct. Which means we are able to resume our journey to Allendale.
I got something to take care of, though. Hold on.
Not exactly. We've still got some unfinished business. We have to meet up with those men to learn the secret to unimaginable power.
All right. Those 2 men from yesterday. How could the... Okay. Zack gets to his feet.
Ready to go?
Yep. I suppose so. Leanna stands as well, but Kara and Amy stay put. Are you 2 coming?
The invitations were not extended to us.
Yeah, plus I think it's a mage or crystal specific thing, so that leaves me out.
Fair point.
We'll stick around here and see what else we can dig up and meet you guys when you're done.
Don't take her to a casino. Amy nods. That's probably for the best. Leanna, Zack, and I exit the inn. Studying the address on the cards given to us, we eventually come across a nondescript mansion. Cautiously, we knock on the front door. There's no response. Since they were looking for mages only, Leanna does a radial scan. From the blank door, a hidden message appears. It indicates to go around to the back entrance, but only when the sun has fully set. Not suspicious at all. We decide to spend our time scouting the location for all the different angles and get as much of the floor plan as we can figured out, just in case. By the time we are done our extensive mapping, it is evening. A little bit of a typo there, or whatever. Maybe I'm just an idiot and can't read. We circle around the house to the plain wooden door. We knock twice, and the door swings open. Grinning widely is one of the men who recruited us yesterday. I got a bad feeling about this. He ushers us in through the door and into the foyer, where a handful of people mill about. I take in the marble staircase and pristine tiles. Some people sit on the leather couches as we wait for whatever is supposed to happen to begin. Bright light spills into the room and reflects off the crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling. This room looks more expensive than my entire house back home. I'd never have guessed it from the plain exterior of the house. After a few more minutes, a man with slicked black hair approaches with open arms and a shining grin.
Welcome.
The room quiets down into silence as he greets us.
I'm sure you're all wondering why you've been invited here today.
Uh-huh.
It's because our expert talent scouts spotted a commonality within all of you, an unmistakable ability, a mastery of the elements.
And what about Zack? A few people sneak glances around the room. I look at Leanna, who is watching the speaker intently. Zack crosses his arms, his expression unreadable.
We too share this gift, and we too hungered for power. We spent hours upon hours honing our craft, showing painstakingly slow progress before we were introduced to the secret techniques we hope to share with you today. My friends, if you wish to become the most powerful casters in this area, then you have come to the right place.
And stay tuned. During this show, we're going to show you how to take care of everything.
But as they say, with great power comes great responsibility. These techniques are dangerous and are not for the faint of heart. Failure can lead to dire consequences, and in order for us to continue, I need absolute assurance that you are all ready to face those consequences. If anyone is having second thoughts, now is the moment when you can walk out of here with no hard feelings.
I'm not having second thoughts, I'm having just thoughts. A couple of people turn around and head back towards the door. But the majority of the group, which is still a small number of around 10 people, decide to stay.
I admire all of your courage, but I'm not surprised by your decision.
A doorway to the left of the room creaks open, and the man points in that direction.
The beginning of your training is in the next room. Please proceed through the doors, and our training leader will meet you there.
Uh-huh. Low murmurings fill the silence as people begin to exit the room. As Leanna begins to pass, the strange man from before sidles up to her and lowers his voice.
So, the guild finally caught wind of this, eh?
What? Broodman Wayne. Leanna masks her surprise and keeps her voice even.
I'm not sure what you mean.
He chuckles and nudges her.
It's all right. You can trust me. I'm actually Broodman.
Question. Who the hell is Broodman? He pauses as if waiting for our recognition, but we merely stare blankly at him.
Broodman? The Silent Protector? Tamer of the Wolves at Wolfsden?
Again, we make no notion of recognition.
Well, either way, we're on the same side. I know that these guys are dangerous, and I've got a plan in place to stop them.
How do you know they're dangerous? Do you know what their secret technique is?
Broodman waggles his eyes knowingly.
Right. Playing innocent to keep up your facade. I understand.
He winks.
Look, I was planning on taking these guys down alone, but having a member of the Mage Guild as backup would ensure the downfall of these guys. What do you say? Are you in?
Leanna frowns.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He winks.
All right. You won't budge.
He taps his nose and then fixes his attention to Zack.
I'll just pretend I didn't see the mage emblem when you first entered Wolfsden. What about you?
His voice trails off as Zack stares him down with an unblinking gaze. Broodman seems unfazed. Broodman's gaze lands on me and he quickly shifts focus.
How about you?
Follow Leanna's lead. I too like to deal the hand of justice. Follow Zack's lead. I'm gonna follow Leanna's lead on this one. I don't know what you're talking about. He taps his nose again knowingly. We hear shuffling and I notice most of the people have filed out of the room by now.
We should get going before they get suspicious.
Agreed. It's bad enough we have this Broodman guy. Broodman nods, and we follow the others out of the room and into an evening courtyard. The courtyard is surrounded on all sides by walls, which, upon further inspection, are hallways connecting the different wings of the mansion. Because we're enclosed within the mansion, we're guaranteed privacy.
Listen up. I know what they promised you back there, and I know they made it sound like all of you, as long as you try, will be able to learn the technique for power. But they're wrong.
Okay.
Only those of you strong enough to handle that amount of magic will be successful, and that's where I come in. I'm here to test your proficiency with magic, and if this technique is something you can even handle.
Yes, Drill Sergeant! A few staff members who were standing on the sidelines come over and begin passing out manipulators. When they reach Zack, the staff member notices his lack of manipulator and looks at him in confusion. Zack doesn't react or bother to take the manipulator from his hands either.
He passes.
The training leader walks by, and as his gaze falls on Zack, Zack's discharges, his expression changes. He turns to the staff with the manipulator and urges him to move on. The staff member begins to protest, but the training leader stops him.
He passes. I know you all have your own manipulators, but I don't care. Use ours anyway. The goal of this isn't to show off who has the fanciest gadgets. It's to eliminate any variables so we can get a more accurate read on your abilities.
Okay, that was a suspicion I had before if different manipulators allowed for different ease of use and whatnot.
Now, who wants to go first?
One person steps up and attempts to cast a gale, but his nerves makes his arm unsteady, and he keeps losing focus.
Enough.
The training leader shakes his head, and the man hangs his head. The staff members lead the man out of the courtyard as the next person steps up. One by one, they go until it's my turn. My blood runs cold as clammy sweat covers my body.
Let's go. We haven't got all day.
I close my eyes and breathe deeply. I can do this. Just remember my training. Once my hands steady, I raise my arm and channel a gust of wind as I've done so many times before. I picture Leanna watching and encouraging me, and sure enough, a gust of wind flows through my fingers. The training leader frowns, unimpressed, but the staff member who took my energy reading races over to his side. I'm pretty sure I can guess what's going on. They took a scan that said my energy levels are off the charts, and yet somehow my casting skill does not equal the energy I possess.
Pass. For now.
Eat me, dude. I nod. The training leader calls Leanna forward, and I take this time to switch out my manipulator back to my own. She takes a deep breath, gathers her energy, and raises her arm. Her blue eyes almost turn steel gray as a gale storm whips the trees in the courtyard. Leanna's hair flies around her, but she stands steady in her tempest, her gaze challenging the training leader. He raises his hand, and as instantly as she summoned it, Leanna ceases the storm.
Pass.
As a few people pick themselves off the ground or dust themselves off, Leanna returns to the group. That was incredible. You blew me away. Just keep it cool. I think this is a moment to keep it cool. Nice job.
Thanks. You too.
I nod. They continue to move through the test. Zack silently slinks over and joins us as Leanna surreptitiously switches back to her manipulator and does a scan of her own. She frowns at the results and lowers her voice so I could barely hear her.
I'm getting the same strange absence of energy reading that we got back at Stonecrest.
That's not good. Do you think this has something to do with Void? She nods, her expression grave. A guard approaches Leanna, and she quickly puts on a smile.
Ma'am, I have a message from the site commander. He wishes to meet you.
Oh?
In his private quarters.
There's a site commander?
Oh.
Over my dead body is she going into private quarters? For once, she can't hide her surprise. The guard leaves momentarily as he goes to speak with the training leader. Leanna turns to us.
We need to figure a way out of this. There's no way I'm going into the commander's private quarters.
You have to.
Excuse me?
What?
Quiet.
You mind explaining yourself here? Leanna lowers her voice, but her tone is just as stern.
Do you have any idea what an invitation to his private quarters means?
Yes?
Of course I do. And that's why you need to go. This is your chance to get inside and find out if this is a part of Void's operation, like you suspect.
I would argue, but I really can't. She frowns.
There must be another way.
Probably. But not on such short notice without an all-access pass to the most secure place in the entire mansion.
Leanna remains quiet as Zack's words sink in. Then she groans.
You're right. This is the perfect opportunity.
What about us?
We'll find a way inside and catch up with Leanna. When you get to his quarters, make sure you leave the door unlocked so we can get in.
I will. But you two better hurry up. I do not want to be alone with him longer than I need to.
Fair enough. I'll try to hurry as best as I can. The training leader looks annoyed and waves the guard away. We fall silent as he returns to collect Leanna. She throws us one last warning look before leaving. So, how are we going to sneak in?
We need a distraction.
As Zack and I scanned our surrounding, a hand falls on my shoulder.
Don't worry, I've got this.
All right. I'll bite, Broodman. What do you got for me?
Got what?
He just winks at us and as he enters the center of the courtyard. The training leader looks amused as Broodman enters the testing space unprompted, but doesn't stop him. Broodman stands perfectly still and takes in an exaggerated breath, then slowly breathes it out. He readies his arms in front of him and summons a glowing fireball in his hand. As he aims it straight in front of him, it was only then I noticed he'd strategically placed himself so he was facing a large tree. That's smart. He'll ignite the tree accidentally as a part of his proficiency testing. Broodman takes another deep breath, and just as he's about to let the fireball fly, he sneezes hard. A fireball misdirects and catches on his clothes. He yelps as the flames lap at his clothes and drops to the ground and rolls. But instead of extinguishing the flames, the grass ignites where he rolls. Soon the courtyard is amok with shrieking voices and running bodies. What am I even witnessing? Zack pulls me aside.
Now's our chance.
Let's go. Fine, that's our cue. I nod, and the two of us slip through the same door we saw Leanna go through, and we will see what happens with Leanna next time. I will end the episode here. Thanks so much for watching, heroes. I hope you do enjoy Crystalline. As always, feel free to check out all of PixelFade Studios' links, their Patreon, their website, and the Steam page for Crystalline in the description down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great rest of your day. Take care. Oh, with this new outfit, can you wear this forever? I never knew this was something I wanted in my life until now.
What?
She continues to cover herself, looking even more self-conscious. You should wear this all the time. It's a great look on you. She blushes, but shakes her head.
I can't go out in public like this.
Sure you can. Why not? Kara does. My eyes linger on Leanna's chest. In fact, you could give her a run for her money. Leanna narrows her eyes and covers her chest.
That's exactly why